On April 22, 2025, unknown gunmen killed at least 26 and injured 17 at the popular tourist destination of Pahalgam in Indian-administered Jammu and Kashmir. One of the deadliest terror attacks since 2008 Mumbai attacks jolt India. Prime Minister Modi, who was on state visit to Saudi Arabia, returned home immediately. The Resistance Front, TRF, also known as the Kashmir Resistance, claimed responsibility for the region's deadliest attack. Indian sources claimed that TRF operates as an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba, a Pakistan-based terrorist organization responsible for the 2008 Mumbai attacks. As after all major terror attacks in India, everyone pointing finger to Pakistan. In very quick response, India closed its main crossing with Pakistan, suspended a water-sharing treaty, and accused Islamabad of facilitating cross-border terrorism. The suspension of Indus Water Treaty is the most interesting part of retaliation. In November 26, 2008, incident of terror fears that India and Pakistan would once again head towards direct military confrontation abounded after militants laid siege to the Indian capital of Mumbai. Over 3 days, 166 people were killed, including 6 Americans. Instead of escalating tensions, the Indian government took the diplomatic route by seeking cooperation with the Pakistani government to bring the perpetrators of the attack to justice, paving the way for improved relations. In September 2016, when armed militants attacked a remote Indian army base in Uri, near the LOC, killing 18 Indian soldiers in the deadliest attack on the Indian armed forces in decades. Indian officials accused Jaish-e-Mohammed, JEM, another group, of being behind the attack. In response, the Indian military announced it had carried out surgical strikes on terrorist camps inside Pakistani-administered Kashmir, while the Pakistani military denied that any such operation had taken place. In February 2019, an attack on a convoy of Indian paramilitary forces in Pulwama, Indian-administered Kashmir, killed at least 40 soldiers. The attack, claimed by the Pakistani militant group JEM, was the deadliest in Kashmir in 3 decades. India retaliated by conducting an airstrike that targeted terrorist training camps within Pakistani territory. These were answered by Pakistani airstrikes on Indian-administered Kashmir. The exchange escalated into an aerial engagement, during which Pakistan shot down 2 Indian military aircraft and captured an Indian pilot. The pilot was released 2 days later. In 2022 and 2023, the Indian central government cracked down on independent media in the region, redrew the electoral map to privilege Hindu-majority areas in Kashmir, and held a G20 tourism meeting in Srinagar. Targeted killings against Hindus have become more frequent, motivating some to flee and protest government policies. In response to the uptick in violence, the Modi government has taken an increasingly militarized response that threatens to exacerbate the current political crisis in Kashmir. At the May 2023 Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in India, the foreign ministers of India and Pakistan traded barbs over Kashmir, missing an opportunity to improve relations. Pakistan threatened to suspend its participation in all bilateral agreements with India, including the 1972 Simla Agreement, on Thursday in a retaliatory move after India said it would suspend its own participation in the Indus Water Treaty and close the land border the day before. The Simla Agreement was a peace accord signed by the 2 countries a few months after Bangladesh became independent from Pakistan. Pakistan included the closure of the Wagah border post with immediate effect, the suspension and cancellation of SARC visas for Indian nationals, excluding Sikh pilgrims, the designation of Indian defense advisors as personae non grata in Pakistan, a reduction in the staff of the Indian High Commission, the closure of Pakistani airspace to Indian airlines, and the suspension of all trade with India. Pakistan has warned India that any disruption of its water supply would be considered an act of war, adding that it was prepared to respond with full force across the complete spectrum of national power. In 2019, Pakistan Air Force downed 2 Indian Air Force fighter jets. MiG-21 fell inside Pakistan, arresting her pilot Abhinandan, and other fighter jet was Su-30, killing both pilots. At that stage, Indian Prime Minister reiterated the need to equip Indian Air Force with Rafale fighter jets. At this stage, Indian Air Force equipped with Rafale, but on other side Pakistan Air Force is now even more capable with new JF-17 Block 3 and J-10C ready to meet any threat. This is a very important question, needs attention, that why Indian government spark water treaty in retaliation of terror attack immediately when water dispute within Pakistani politics gaining much importance. This is also pertinent to mention that how can Indian authorities track terrorist link with Pakistan in few hours? In the cornered-off territory of Kashmir, this is the grave failure of Indian intelligence agencies and army, that why they are not able to stop or track these militants.